In the heart of a luxury hotel where crystal chandeliers sparkled and silence was a symbol of wealth, a young maid moved unnoticed. To the elite guests, she was invisible, just another uniform. But one moment changed everything. As she scrubbed, her phone rang. She answered, not in English, but in flawless Dutch. A millionaire, standing nearby, froze. His eyes narrowed, curiosity sparking. What was a black maid doing speaking a language most Americans never knew? That one phone call would unravel secrets, challenge prejudice, and end in a confrontation no one saw coming. The hotel was known as the Sterling, a place where the world's wealthiest gathered. Politicians, CEOs, and celebrities checked in daily, expecting perfection. Among the staff was Amara, a maid who had worked quietly for 3 years. She wore her pressed blue uniform and yellow gloves with pride, though to the guests she was often reduced to nothing more than a shadow who polished mirrors and replaced towels. But Amara was not ordinary. Born in Suriname, raised in the Netherlands, she had once been a top student, fluent in multiple languages, with dreams of working in international business. Life, however, took a cruel turn. A family tragedy forced her to leave university and migrate to the U.S. in search of work. She took the first job she could get, cleaning rooms in a place where the wealthy flaunted fortunes she could only dream of. She kept her head down, enduring the dismissive looks, the unkind whispers, and the guests who sometimes ignored her as though she didn't exist. Still, she worked with quiet dignity, hoping that one day she might find her way back to the dreams she once had. One morning, everything began as usual. Amara pushed her cart into a penthouse suite booked by a high-profile guest, a millionaire, CEO known for arrogance and entitlement. He walked in sharply dressed, radiating the confidence of someone used to commanding boardrooms and controlling empires. To him, she was just another maid in the background. Until her phone rang. The sound startled the quiet room. Amara hesitated, knowing staff weren't supposed to take personal calls while on duty. But seeing the caller ID, she quickly slipped her phone to her ear and answered softly. What came next broke the invisible wall around her. She spoke Dutch, smooth, fluent, commanding, a language rarely heard in these corridors of wealth. The millionaire paused. His footsteps slowed, his sharp eyes fixed on her. He had heard Dutch before. He had business ties in Amsterdam. Yet the accent, the clarity, it wasn't the broken attempt of a tourist. This was native. Amara continued the call, unaware of his gaze burning into her back. She spoke with confidence, her voice a melody of strength he never expected from someone in a maid's uniform. The conversation lasted only seconds, but it was enough. When she hung up, the silence in the room was heavy. The millionaire finally spoke. His tone was edged with disbelief and condescension. Why would a maid know Dutch? He wondered. His curiosity, laced with arrogance, drove him to test her. He asked if she really knew what she was saying, or if she had memorized a few phrases to impress. Amara answered calmly, switching effortlessly between Dutch and English, explaining details only a true speaker could know. But instead of admiration, his expression shifted. There was irritation, even suspicion. In his world, status was everything, and a maid possessing skills beyond her station threatened his narrow view of superiority. To him, she didn't belong in this hotel except with a mop and gloves. Word of the exchange spread among staff. Whispers grew in the hallways. Some admired Amara's intelligence. Others feared what the millionaire might do. He was a powerful man, known for crushing anyone who embarrassed him, no matter how small the incident. And now, a maid had unintentionally challenged his pride. Over the next few days, his attitude toward her changed. He left messes intentionally, called for unnecessary service, and made cutting remarks. It was harassment disguised as privilege. Amara endured, refusing to break. But behind the scenes, the millionaire was plotting something worse. The breaking point came when Amara entered the suite one morning to find the millionaire on a call. He ended it abruptly when she walked in, then turned his gaze on her. He accused her of eavesdropping, of pretending to be more than she was. With venom in his words, he mocked her background, reducing her to stereotypes, sneering at her skin color, and belittling her job. Amara stood frozen, every insult cutting deep. He threatened to report her to management, claiming she had been disrespectful, and in hotels like this, a guest's word was law. Within hours, she was summoned to the manager's office. The accusation was harsh: misconduct, unprofessionalism, and even theft, a lie the millionaire fabricated. Her world collapsed. A single phone call, a single display of intelligence, had spiraled into humiliation and the threat of losing the only income she relied on. The manager, though uncomfortable, reminded her that the hotel valued its wealthy clients. Against the word of a millionaire CEO, Amara had little defense. But what the millionaire didn't know was that his arrogance had exposed him. During his call earlier that morning, he had mentioned confidential business details Amara, fluent in Dutch, understood perfectly. She knew he was manipulating markets illegally, insider trading disguised as international deals. Cornered and humiliated, Amara made a choice. She contacted a hotline for financial crime, reporting everything she overheard. Her testimony, backed by her language skills, became evidence. Weeks later, news broke across headlines. The millionaire CEO was under federal investigation. His empire, once untouchable, began to crumble. Stocks plummeted, board members fled, and he faced charges that could end his career. Amara, who once walked invisible through hotel corridors, had been the spark that lit his downfall. The hotel discreetly reinstated her, hoping to avoid scandal, but things had already changed. Staff looked at her with new respect, whispering her story with admiration. She was no longer invisible, but the deeper victory was not just in the millionaire's fall. It was in the message her journey carried. Amara had been underestimated because of her skin color, her uniform, her position. In a world obsessed with status, her intelligence and dignity broke through the prejudice that sought to silence her. She continued working for a time, saving money, but now with a quiet confidence that no insult could erase. Eventually, she returned to her studies, determined to reclaim the dreams she once set aside. And as for the millionaire, his name became a cautionary tale. His arrogance blinded him to the humanity of the woman standing before him, and it cost him everything. In the end, Amara's story was not just about one phone call. It was about resilience, justice, and the truth that no matter where society places you, your worth is not defined by your uniform, your job, or the prejudices of others. So the next time you see someone overlooked, someone dismissed, ask yourself, how much potential is being ignored right in front of us?